Hey guys, welcome back. Today we are jumping into putting together a DIY greenhouse in our basement in our new studio, which is going to be part my seed starting studio, place to store some plants and do some other exciting things. So I did want to mention it's been a while since we recorded a video, and we've had a lot of exciting things go on. You might remember Matt retired from the military last year and he has started a new job, and so he's been busy with that. We also have finished our Missouri Master Gardener education course, and so we are working on our hours this year where we have to volunteer in order to become certified Master Gardeners. And so hopefully we'll get that done this year, and then we can be truly certified and continue learning all that good information about gardening in our area. We also found out, I guess late last year, that we were going to be one of the pink pot ambassadors for Wave Gardening, which is really exciting. I think our month is September, and we are going to be showcasing some different products from Wave Gardening, including their petunias, pansies, and some other exciting things that they have going on. So we're really excited to partner with them. Today, we are putting together this DIY greenhouse in our basement in our new seed studio, and Matt has worked really hard to come up with the measurements and do all of the math on everything so we can get this in our new space. And we're gonna kind of take you guys along today and show you what we are doing so that we can start some seed starting. If you remember in the past, I've told you I have not had good success with seed starting. I've never really properly tried when I've had all the right information. So I haven't really been successful with it in the past. So I'm hoping us having a dedicated space for this, we are going to be able to not only start some seeds, but also have an area in the basement where we can put some plants if they need to just spend some time before we get them in the ground or other things. So it's gonna be a really fun area, and we're gonna take you guys along now. So just to show you guys, this is our new little seed starting corner that we are going to have. And as you can tell, it's more rectangular than a lot of the greenhouses that we could find on Amazon or other places. I looked around and tried to find something that was pre-made that would fit our needs, and I couldn't really find anything. The other thing that we're trying to navigate is this shelf is about 6 feet tall, and we added wheels to it as well so that I can kind of roll it around and do what I need to do there. And I wanted to make sure that we had enough room in a greenhouse for us to be able to move this back and forth. And also because Matt and I are about 6 feet tall. So, well, maybe I'm a little shorter if this is 6 foot. But anyway, I wanted to make sure that we could get in and out of a greenhouse space and maneuver and do things that we needed to do without hitting our head. We're tall people, and a lot of those greenhouses are not really made for tall people. So again, we've mentioned in the past that we plan to move probably next year, maybe next summer. And everything we're doing is something that we are trying to maybe take with us or make not too permanent, so that we can bring it along to our next place. So the PVC pipe, I'll kind of show you guys here. So I'll have Matt go through and kind of note what he used. But basically we got 3/4 inch PVC pipe just from Lowe's. And Matt cut it down to the different sizes that we need. And then we're going to cover it up with some plastic to try to keep the warmth in. Our basement runs about 60 degrees or so, and we want to make sure that the plants have a nice warmer area where they won't get drafty and they won't get covered in dust and different things. So essentially the idea will be that we have this as the centerpiece in the greenhouse, and then we'll have some room on the sides for either fans, plants, heater, whatever other supplies that we might need to keep in there, and that we can walk in and out of it as we need. And it'll also be hopefully a pretty backdrop for recording videos or doing other things.
So, in typical fashion, for the way that Matt and I work together, we had our music going, and YouTube does not like that very much. And so we had to voice over this section. So, I do apologize for that. But here we are putting on some Scotch mounting squares. They are sort of like 3M command strips that you can peel off one side. It sticks to the PVC pretty easily. And then the other side just keeps the little sticker on there until you're ready to peel that off. So we prepped all the areas that we thought that we would need some adhesion for the plastic. This is just a standard roll of plastic that we got from Lowe's. I think it's like painter's plastic or something like that. Pretty cheap. Anyway, so we started to lift the plastic up and over. And at this point, the labels are still on the little command strips, the sticker things. We left all of those until we were happy with where we were going to place the plastic. And so we sat and thought about it for a little bit, realized that width wise, we weren't going to be able to do what we wanted. And in typical fashion, for the way that we do our projects around here, we messed with it for a little bit, then took it all down and tried again. And so what we did this time was we just went around the outside instead of trying to get it up and over the top at the same time. We just took it around all of the outer perimeter edges, and then we would unstick those mounting squares, and we went around. One of us was on the inside and one of us was on the outside, and just made sure that it was getting stuck everywhere with the plastic. Then we put the plastic up on the top, did the same process, looking pretty good, getting all together there. We want this thing to be durable, but it doesn't have to be something that's absolutely perfect to us. It just needs to be sort of a good enough project. So here we're just taking some duct tape and cutting off the edges and putting on some, I think we have white duct tape, just to sort of make it a little more airtight. Not so much because we care about the air, but just so it's not loose and hanging all around where it's going to get snagged and messed up or anything. So we just sat and we duct taped around the corners and different areas that we thought that we needed to do that. So it was looking pretty good on the inside. You can see the duct tape there and the corners and the top there. We did have the floor of the plastic or the plastic on the floor. And I thought I wanted that at first in case there was any dirt, debris, water, but we decided to go ahead and cut that out. And then we just used duct tape to make a really nice tight bond there on the bottom. So I think it was looking pretty good coming together. And again, like I said, the last thing that we needed to do was prep the doors. So we pulled the plastic that way too, used the command strips or the mounting squares, and basically went around and everything's sticking together, if that, sort of makes sense. So we would just basically find an area that we needed to get it tighter on, and we'd use the duct tape or the mounting squares, and we would just make sure that everything was pretty secure. From there, we went around and made sure that we cut off any excess plastic just so that nothing got stuck to it, or, that it wasn't getting hung up in anything that we were moving around, and just to make it look a little nicer. From there, we had to figure out how we wanted the doorway, so to say, not really doors, but sort of the flaps in the front. If you can imagine like a tent, that was kind of the idea that we were going for. And so we wanted to make sure that we had enough room to pretty much enclose everything to keep the warmth and the humidity in that area since the basement is cooler, but also where we could pull it back and access everything, roll in the shelf, roll in other supplies that we needed. Matt had originally planned to use his heat gun to clear up the plastic just so it would have some better light coming in. And we did try that for probably 5 minutes or so,
I might have it too loose.
and we realized that that was pretty much pointless, and so we gave up on that, and we decided there was going to be enough light coming in. So after that, we had to get together the grow lights, and so we purchased these from Amazon. I will put a link down below in the description for those if you are interested. I did a lot of research, and there are so many options out there, but ultimately we decided that this one was the most cost effective for what we needed, and it also fit the width of our shelves. It was going to be small enough that it wasn't going to be super bulky on the shelf where we needed to put the plants and everything. And then we just started getting all of those lined up and together. The other thing I really wanted in lights was for them to all connect to each other, where we really only had to plug in one of the outlets or one of the plugs into the outlet, and then everything else would sort of run off the previous light. And so it took a little bit of finessing for us to figure out how we wanted to lay them out and where the cords needed to come out. But we finally got into a groove and we started getting them up. So we used zip ties to hang them to the top. So once we figured out where the lights needed to go, how they needed to be oriented, we got the zip ties ready and got that going, which was really easy with the wire shelving. It made it easy to be able to just use the zip ties, hook right into that, zipped on quite nicely. It was very secure. And then after we did that to all of them, we just cut off any excess that was sticking out so it wasn't sticking up where the plants would be or towards any of our stuff. And it worked out perfectly. It's cutting the excess off there so we don't have to worry about that getting in the way. Then we hooked up our heating pads. I just got 2 of the heating mats from, again, from Amazon. They are Vivo Sun 10 by 20s. So hopefully you guys like this idea. Again, this entire greenhouse is about maybe 9 feet by 4 feet or so. We just really kind of needed this shape to be back in this corner. So we're really glad you guys were able to join us today, and we will see you in the next one.